Pablo Escobar hid $500 billion and $18 million was found. On this channel, we've made numerous videos about millionaires and billionaires spending their money. And today we'll talk about one of the wealthiest in the past. We will be talking about Pablo Escobar's fortune and how only $18 million was found of the huge fortune. Thanks for joining us at Luxury Life, where we'll be talking about $500 billion hidden by Pablo Escobar and the $18 million that was found. Make sure to subscribe and to hit the notification bell to never miss out on one of our videos. And with that out of the way, let's get started. Imagine smashing a hole in your wall. A foul smell escapes, 100 times worse than something that had died. Inside you find a typewriter, a gold pen, satellite phones, and stacks of cash. $18 million. This is what happened to Nicolas Escobar, nephew of the famous drug cartel kingpin Pablo Escobar. According to an interview with the Colombian TV channel, Red Plus Noticias, Nicolas learned about the stash of money from a vision. Pablo Escobar was the founder and leader of the Medellin Cartel, which made him arguably the most powerful drug trafficker in the world through the 80s and early 90s. Although it is impossible to exactly pinpoint his net worth due to the extreme lengths that Escobar went to in order to prevent his money from being found, it is estimated at $30 billion or $420 million a week in revenue. He used these funds to support a luxury lifestyle that included many properties, featuring everything from exotic animals to bullfighting arenas. Once the seventh richest person on the planet, Pablo Escobar was on the Forbes list of global billionaires for 7 years. Despite being notorious for acts of violence, he also used his wealth to fund charity projects, which helped earn him an alternate seat in Colombian Congress. Escobar had such an excess of wealth that it couldn't all be laundered quickly enough for him to use it. According to Escobar's brother, the only way for Escobar to keep his fortune safe was literally by burying it in the ground and stashing it in the walls of properties he owned. In his book The Accountant Story, Inside the Violent World of the Medellin Cartel, Roberto de Jesus Garavis Escobar wrote, "The biggest headache was hiding the money. I created the system of caletas, small hiding places in the walls of houses and apartments. There could be as much as $5 million in cash hidden in a single caleta. Unsurprisingly, these hiding places were not always the most secure places to keep funds. Despite reports of stacks of cash being shrink-wrapped and put into plastic barrels, Roberto Escobar also wrote, we would write off 10% of the money because the rats would eat it in storage or it would be damaged by water or lost." Nicolas Escobar noted in his interview that some of the money he discovered was damaged and unusable. It is common knowledge that Escobar strategically cached his fortune, and since Pablo Escobar's death in a shootout with the police in 1993, there has been a public obsession with the location of his fortune. Unconfirmed reports of millions shrink-wrapped in barrels in basements and gold bars buried in the jungle have encouraged many treasure seekers since his death. One such treasure hunter is Roberto Sendoya, but Roberto is no ordinary fortune hunter. He is the secret son of Pablo Escobar, looking to claim his father's billions. As a child, Roberto was saved from the shootout that killed his mother, only to be adopted by an MI6 agent stationed in Colombia. He was sent away to the UK to avoid any chance of kidnap by the cartel. He didn't learn who his biological father was until he was in his 20s. On his adopted father's deathbed, the retired MI6 agent gave him a coded note with all the information he had on how to find Escobar's millions. With the help of his adopted father's information, Roberto is on a hunt for his biological father's fortune. Even without the help of Roberto's secret code or Nicolas's visions, treasure hunters have had success. During the demolition of Pablo Escobar's former mansion in Florida, the current property owner and his crew discovered a locked safe. Whether anything is inside is still unknown. The discovery of a verified $18 million in the walls of Nicolas Escobar's home is likely to revitalize the public obsession with finding the missing Escobar fortune. It is estimated that 10 times the amount that has been recovered by authorities may still be hidden. While the allure of gold bars and stacks of unmarked bills behind the walls has undeniable appeal, finding Escobar's fortune is not without risk, even if it were possible. While the current property owner and his demolition crew were able to salvage one safe from Escobar's former mansion in Florida, they also reported one stolen from the property. While Nicolas seems to have had tremendous good luck in finding money in his walls, in the same interview he described an incident before his uncle's death, where unidentified individuals who were looking for Escobar abducted him. I was tortured for 7 hours. 2 of my workers were attacked with a chainsaw, Nicolas told the interviewer. While Escobar is now dead, uninvolved parties may wish to think twice before involving themselves with the cartel. 2 former CIA agents are on a mission to find Escobar's missing millions. The hunt has taken Doug Locks and Ben Smith to the scariest neighborhoods in Colombia and brought them face to face with some of Escobar's most dangerous gangsters and assassins. At the peak of his empire, Escobar made a staggering £45 million every day and bought huge country estates, planes, and priceless dinosaur fossils for his children to climb on. Even so, the money kept coming in faster than he could spend it. The Colombian banks refused to touch his dirty cash, so he stashed some in Swiss accounts. That money is now lost for good as only Escobar knew the account numbers. He hid far more, shrink-wrapping it in huge stacks and burying it in plastic barrels or metal boxes along with thousands of gold bars, wherever he thought it would be safe. Soon a fifth of all $100 bills in existence were buried in Colombia. Escobar's brother Roberto, 71, was an accountant for the gang and served 12 years for criminal conspiracy before being released in 2004. He said, "Pablo was earning so much that each year we'd write off 10% of the money because rats would eat it in storage or it would be damaged by water or lost." Escobar was behind 80% of all cocaine smuggled into the US during the hedonistic 1980s. He had to buy a bigger plane to carry all the money he made and was even inspired by James Bond to build a fleet of submarines to smuggle the powder. So this is just a portion of what lies behind Pablo Escobar's bag of fortune. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to give it a like and subscribe. See you next time from Luxury Life.